Welcome everyone, this is Michelle Schumann. I'm the Artistic Director of the Austin Chamber Music Center, and our festival is coming up. This is our annual series of Festival Focus where we interview our fantastic artists. I'm so pleased to have Ida Kavafian here with me, the legendary Ida Kavafian. She's going to be playing a recital with Peter Serkin on July 5th at 7:30 at Bates Recital Hall. So I'm so pleased to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me, Ida.
I'm delighted to be with you, Michelle, and I'm looking forward to July 5th
Oh, it'll
and
be
July 4th because I'll be there on the 4th, actually.
Yeah, well, and we're planning on, if you want to see fireworks that night, we can set you up. If you want to relax that night, you can do that too. So whatever you're up for.
I'm into the fireworks for sure.
Great. You had mentioned that you rehearsed with Peter Serkin today, so you must be sort of aglow with a performance and that kind of rehearsal. You've been working with Peter Serkin a long time now. You've been close friends for a long time. I just wanted to talk a little bit about your relationship and how you started playing together. I know he played for your New York debut recital. So tell me a little bit about that relationship.
Well, it started around 1972, 1973. I was still a student at Juilliard at the time, and I met him playing on Blanche Moisse's Bach series in Vermont. And shortly after that, he said, "Would you like to get together and read the Messiaen Quartet for the End of Time?" Not exactly a readable piece, but he said, I have some friends, and then I knew Fred Sherry, the cellist, and Fred knew the clarinetist Dick Stoltzman. Anyway, so we got together to play this piece, and it was a revelation to me. I didn't know it at all, and we said, well, that was fun. Maybe we should play some concerts, and then we became a group called Tashi.
Right.
And we played together for quite a few years, and then, as you mentioned, Peter played for my debut recital on the Young Concert Artist series. And so we've been working together on and off since then. And I've always wanted to do Beethoven sonatas with Peter in a series. And so we cooked up this scheme a year or two ago. And we had played a recital more recently with a crazy difficult program with the Volpe sonata. And which leads me to my point about we actually started rehearsing the Beethovens quite a few months ago. I remember when we learned the Volpe sonata, for instance, we started it for a year. We started it 2 years before the concert.
Wow,
And for a year we played at quarter tempo, one quarter tempo. That's for a whole year. And then we sort of slowly worked up to the it's such a difficult piece. Anyway, that was a project we did together a long time ago, and then again more recently. And the Beethoven, I hope that we'll be able to do more of them, but we started with this project of the Opus 30s.
Yeah, and every single one of the Opus 30s, they're so great. I mean, Beethoven is great no matter what. But to me, it's always interesting when you do a series where you feature a certain opus because it just becomes so concentrated, the ingenuity he had and how he could make these sonatas so different from one another, and yet at such a high level at the same time, too.
It is amazing how they really run the gamut. Number 6, the Opus 30, number 1, is such a sort of, I don't know, I think of it as a more gentle piece, a more pastoral piece, and just so beautiful. I think the slow movement of the Opus 30, number 1 is maybe my favorite Beethoven sonata movement. It's just so, I just feel like he's reached just a level of just almost heaven, I must say.
Yeah.
And then you go to the number 7 sonata, the Opus 30, number 2, and of course that's in his signature intense C minor, yes, which was, the Fifth Symphony, the Third Piano Concerto, speaking of pianists. And then you go to this sort of more cheery G major, which is the Opus 30, number 3. And it's like it's like a microcosm of his whole life, those 3 sonatas.
Yeah. Well, how exciting it'll be for us to hear all those together. And of course, you've known these pieces all your life in a way too. How do you bring the kind of experiences that you've had all your life into playing Beethoven now? I know it's kind of a vague question, but
Well, it's interesting because when I was younger, I wasn't a big Beethoven fan.
mhm.
And I remember when we were all students at Juilliard and my sonata partner, Jeffrey Swan, wanted to play some Beethoven. I said, gosh, I don't know. Beethoven is so, I don't know. And I think it was all about my discomfort and I knew enough that I didn't know enough
Mhm,
to play
mhm.
Beethoven. And it was quite a long time before I felt comfortable playing the pieces. And I think I made a discovery more in teaching them than in playing them,
Yeah,
which of course you can relate to that.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I realized that so much of what was crucial in those sonatas um, is learning how to play with a piano, especially with the left hand of the piano.
Mhm,
And I think
mhm.
that's when I sort of started to. I think I was uncomfortable not with the primary voices, but with the secondary voices. And of course, for the violin, you need a lot of secondary voice playing
Mhm,
sonata.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
it took me a long time to really feel a closeness with the works, and it's been a long time since I've felt this, but I just am just so I feel so privileged to play these works.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, we can't wait. I wanted to talk a little bit about, you had mentioned Tashi, and I was thinking that I feel like Tashi was the original innovators of the chamber music scene. We talk a lot about innovation with different chamber music groups now and being entrepreneurial and doing things in a different light. And I feel like you guys were the absolute pioneers of doing things a different way. We've had Richard Stoltzman out to the festival a number of
Uh-huh.
times, and he's such a life force in a way, and thinks
Yeah.
about things in a different way. And when he plays, he's so communicative. And so I think about Tashi as being that sort of originator of it, doing things a little bit different way. Did you ever have conversations about that, or was that just something that happened because of who you all were?
I think the latter is probably closer to what was actually going on. I mean, I think there was a real love for new music
Yes.
with all four of us,
Yeah.
and so that, of course, was really a very important part of the group. Um, we played the Messiaen Quartet for Messiaen,
Mm.
and which I've been putting some thoughts together. This is a long time ago, so it's hard to remember, but I've been putting some thoughts together to try to help groups that the younger groups that don't have the privilege of or the experience of playing for such a composer.
Yeah.
But at that session, Toru Takamitsu was there,
Uh-huh.
and he
That's
then
great.
well, he was a friend of Peter's
Mm-hmm.
and Dick's,
Mm-hmm.
and then he of course became a very good friend of the group and was inspired to write a piece for us called Quatrain, which
Mm-hmm.
was with orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
But also had a chamber version, and so
Mm-hmm.
that led to more other new music, and so we did end up playing a lot of new music, and that was an important part of our our whole philosophy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. Um, and I wanted to talk to you also about. I find with a lot of really high level artists, especially the ones that come through my festival, they're oftentimes very focused on one sort of category of their career, whether they're a concertmaster or whether they're a first violinist of a string quartet. And you've had such an amazingly varied career in the things that you've done. I think that of Tashi, and I think that you were with Beaux-Art Trio. You founded two really great music festivals, Bravo in Vail and Angel Fire in New Mexico. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about your sense of musical adventure and doing different things and being adventurous in that way. What has driven
Well,
you?
it is, I do like the variety of there's so much in music that you can experience that I do like the variety, and it's really important to me to stay stimulated and interested and my husband likes to refer to me as a shark because he says I never stop moving.
Uh-huh.
And I am, there are a lot of things I'm not blessed with, but one thing I'm blessed with is a lot of energy. So I have the energy to do all these different things. This is coming up to my 31st year directing the Music from Angel Fire series in New
Great.
Mexico.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it's been that long. Every year I say to them, a music director doesn't usually stay in the position this long. Maybe you'd like to move on to somebody else. And
Yeah.
board
They
is
love
up.
you too much.
No, it's like a second home now. But
Yeah.
I do like the variety, and different times of my life have focused on different things. I mean, the 6 years I was in the Beaux-Arts trio, that was, of course, my main focus,
Yeah.
because we played so many concerts. Now my focus, I'm still playing a lot, but I'm teaching so much, and it's something that I never thought I would love as much as I do. And I'm very, very lucky to teach at two great schools, Curtis and Juilliard.
Yeah.
And so, my students are just
Fantastic.
extraordinary.
Yeah.
And they make me look good. It's oh, a great teacher. Not really. I know the secret. Great teacher. And just teach great students. That's all.
Yeah, but it's true that you can learn so much from students, that they bring something new, and especially if you have an open heart to that. It's just such a great thing to be able to bring to one's own artistry, is what you can learn from those students too.
Yeah.
So,
I have to tell you a funny story today. I'm learning a piece by Chris Rogerson that I taught some time ago, but I've never played. And so I put this on Facebook because I thought it was hysterical. So, how you tell your students you shouldn't go on YouTube and learn the pieces by listening or watching, you should have your own interpretation and figure it out yourself. Well, of course, I went on YouTube.
That's the first thing you did, right?
And the irony was that one of my really wonderful students was playing the piece on YouTube, and so I'm ending up learning it from my student, which is just all of the things I said not to do. But
well, it's all gigantic circle, right?
It was funny.
That's great. I'm noticing in the background there you have some awards. Is that for your dogs? You have
yes.
I'll
show you. This is my shrine to my. Can you see it?
I love it. Yeah. That's great.
And then I can show you my dogs.
Oh, yes.
One over here.
Oh, hello. Oh, is he sleepy?
And then one down here.
Oh, beautiful. And
I do a lot of, I'm sorry, I'm probably moving around the computer.
No, it's fine. So what kind of dogs are those?
They're actually called Vizslas. They're Hungarian. And it's a hunting dog. Yeah. So they're very active and very full of energy.
Yeah. And their bark is very loud, right?
Yeah, their bark is loud, so they protect. And I like to compete with them. So I do a lot of dog shows, actually.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's something completely different from music.
I like the departure. I really do. And until I started playing, I go to the Vizsla Nationals every year, which is in a different place in different part of the country. And for years, people didn't know what I did, and until I started playing the national anthem. So now they know how I pay for the dog kibble. But it's a wonderful way to meet people you would never meet. And I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Do you travel with your dogs very often?
I do. I always drive out to New Mexico every summer. Yeah. So I haul the music and the dogs and the instruments, and I really like having them with me, and they do get me out a lot. They get me out hiking a lot, and it's nice. It's a nice. Do you have any animals? Yeah,
I have a dog. She's also probably a hunting dog. She's like a pointer mix, but and probably a mutt. But she's definitely got the hunting dog in her. So she's a hound dog. So she's like all hound dogs, completely lovable and very affectionate and sweet, but almost untrainable, I've found, because she
Oh,
just wants to do whatever she wants to do. But she's a
well,
wonderful pup. We love her.
they can be stubborn, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
you mentioned that you knew Peter Serkin from before, and what was your connection?
Yeah, he was my teacher at Tanglewood. I was there in
Ah,
2001. So I got to
oh,
work with him that summer. And actually, I remember studying Beethoven. I was playing Opus 101 at the time. And I
uh,
got to work with him in his home out there. I think was
oh,
the
yes,
um,
yes,
and
yeah.
it was really, I mean, it was just, I have really sweet memories from just working with him and being kind of surrounded by his aura, which is so profound. And also my memory of going to his home where one of his children, his little boy at the time, I'm sure he's much older now, but he
Uh-huh.
was just kind of playing naked on a big mound of dirt. And I just thought that that was the greatest thing ever. Like, because I could
Oh,
sort of see in that vision, like, that he wanted to have a normal life and be
yeah,
a great pianist.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I bet that was Willie. I would imagine he was, yeah.
uh-huh.
He has several children
Yeah.
and a lovely family.
Yeah.
They're pretty much all grown up now, but
Uh-huh.
he has a couple of grandkids. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see him again and see you. And it's going to be a thrilling concert. Everyone is so excited. We're so excited to have you.
Well,
So
we should be warmed up because we will have played it in Eugene, Oregon, and in Portland, Oregon, and then we'll be
great.
playing it for you. So we'll have everything at our very top level.
Yeah, it'll be the best in Austin. So that'll be
I'm
great.
looking forward to coming there. Really.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you and have a great time until then.
Okay, thank you.
All
You
right.
too.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Ida. Take care.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.